the center of the gaming universe.
Today on X-Play, we review the prequel to one of the greatest video games ever. Get ready for our review of Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII. Plus, we need more cowbell. If you want to take Rock Band to the next level, Chris Gore has a mod you shouldn't miss. And it's 3 a.m. Who do you want to answer the phone? Not Bob and Steve. These two very special agents are back with their latest adventure. Duck and cover, it's game time.
And welcome to X-Play, the only video game show that's pretty sure it doesn't have any illegitimate offspring or spin-off. I'm Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb. We're coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles on Monday, March 24th. On today's show, we have the final word on Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII for the PSP and our sure-to-be controversial review.
Then Chris Gore stops by with some Rock Band customization pro tips that hopefully don't involve duct tape. And Bob and Steve set the bar for secret agents even lower in their latest caper. But first, let's get all of the day's top headlines in the gaming update.
Gibson Guitar Corporation has filed a patent infringement lawsuit against Rock Band's publishers Electronic Arts and MTV Games. The lawsuit also brings Rock Band developer Harmonix into the fold days after Gibson had filed a lawsuit against Activision and a handful of major retailers who are selling Guitar Hero. Gibson Guitar says they have attempted to enter into a patent license agreement with all of the defendants in this case, but received no response. PlayStation 3 owners who were playing Rainbow Six Vegas 2 this weekend found it nearly impossible to connect to the game's multiplayer. Players who were able to connect couldn't find anyone to play with or had experienced a number of random glitches. The good news is that Ubisoft is aware of the problem and has asked anyone affected by these problems to file an official complaint through the game's forums. Finally, we have good news for Halo fans. The Heroic Map Pack will be available for download via Xbox Live Marketplace free of charge tomorrow. The pack was originally released last December and included 3 unique maps called Foundry, Rat's Nest, and Standoff. The new Legendary Map Pack will be available for download on April 15th and will feature 3 new maps for 800 Microsoft points. Or you could save $10 and wait 3 months when it too will probably be free to download. That's it for today's gaming update. Visit us on the web at g4tv.com/xplay to continue getting today's video game news. But now let's go over to Adam, who has our take on the latest Final Fantasy game, and I'm glad it's you giving out the bad news.
Yep, I live to disappoint. Well, if we learned anything from Durza Server.
Okay, that one didn't turn out so hot, but come on, this is Square Enix we're talking about. Even if one Final Fantasy game is a dud, they'll have another one in the pipeline in just a few months. Now, in the past few years, we've had several great releases, and here are just a few of our favorites that are X-Play approved. If you haven't already, try our 5 out of 5 rated Final Fantasy XII. Originally released for the PlayStation 2 in 2006, but playable on your PS3, the graphics are beautiful, which helps to immerse you in its amazing epic plot. The familiar turn-based combat system was swapped for some real-time action, which worked even better. You can find it for $19.99. 2007 was a year that saw solid handheld versions of the Final Fantasy releases, including Final Fantasy Tactics: War of the Lions. Another great story enhanced with eye-pleasing, cel-shaded cutscenes, detailed character customization, and intense battles. Put that all together and you've got dozens of hours of quality game time. We gave it a 4 out of 5, and it usually goes for around $39.99. But for the true Final Fantasy connoisseur, check out Final Fantasy VI for the Game Boy Advance. Playable on your DS, the game features some of the best storytelling the series has to offer. With reworked dialogue from the original, new espers, a handy quick save feature, and additional monsters left out of the US version, We gave it a 5 out of 5, and it'll only cost you $19.99 if you can find it.
Coming up on X-Play, Kristen Holt has a Halo 3 cheat that will get your multiplier up to near perfection. Then Chris Gore stops by with some pro tips that will let you turn your rock band up to 11. Plus, Bob and Steve do some covert cavorting in their latest assignment. Stay tuned.
At JG.
Fans and critics agree Attack of the Show is time well wasted.
Testify!
One of the coolest shows on TV. AOTS doesn't push the envelope, they lick it.
Yeah!
I attain techno bliss.
Just take it out and show everybody what you got.
The show that gets it before it gets out. Attack of the Show, weeknights at 7 and 10, only on G4.
Welcome back to X-Play. Easter may be over, but that doesn't mean your hunt for Easter eggs needs to stop. Kristen Holt is here to help you with your search.
Thanks, Morgan. Skulls give us all an excuse to play through Halo 3 for a second, third, or fourth time. But with all the action, sometimes it's easy to lose your way. Here's how you grab the game's first 2 hidden secrets. Forget baseball, Halo is America's new favorite pastime, and the 3rd installment is stuffed with extras to unlock and uncover on your Xbox 360. The hidden skulls are back from Halo 2. Use them to unlock achievements and increase points in sport campaign missions. Just make sure to start the mission from the beginning if you're collecting skulls, or else they won't appear. In the first mission, Sierra 117, you can find both the blind skull and the iron skull. Each one has a different effect. If enabled, the blind skull makes your HUD disappear, and the iron skull will return you to the beginning of the mission if you die. The first skull is the blind skull. You'll discover it's near the beginning of the mission, right after Sergeant Johnson orders your squad to split up.
Head toward the river.
You and your mates will head down a stream, encountering a small group of Covenant. Blast your way through until 2 dropships unload more grunts into the stream. Once you dispose of the threat, head to your right toward the edge of the cliff. After clearing the brush line, you'll find the blind skull out on a rock. To find the iron skull, continue through the jungle until you reach Johnson's downed Pelican ship. After defeating the hostiles in the area, head through a small cave and you'll come upon a Covenant base where they're keeping Sergeant Johnson captive. Force your way through the waves of Covenant grunts, jackals, and brutes. You'll encounter a long straight path with several brutes and a chieftain. Take the high route to the right where the 2 jackals are standing. Jump up the side of the building's wall and continue down the catwalk until you reach the very end. Oh, what's this? The iron skull? More like the piece of cake skull. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for tips on how to find even more. And check g4tv.com/cheat for the latest tips and tricks. But for the ultimate in cheating, tune into X-Play on Thursday for an exclusive sneak peek of 21, where you'll see a different set of cheaters at work on the casino floor. Let's go back over to Adam.
Thank you, Chris. Well, if you have a thing for these bony brain helmets, have we got an X-list for you. Here are the top 5 characters with skulls for heads. At number 5 is Sir Dan from Medieval. You can tell he's British by the horrible, horrible teeth. Number 4 is Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. He's a ninja and a zombie, combining 2 of the most awesome things ever.
Number 3 is Manny from Grim Fandango. He works at a place almost as unpleasant as our office, the Land of the Dead. At number 2 is the titular Death Jr. The Grim Reaper's kid comes from the streets, so he goes by the name of DJ. Recognize.
And number 1 is Grim Ripper from Guitar Hero 2. Sure, he's a good musician, but his writer is just absurd. Who really needs ostrich food backstage? All right, when X-Play returns, Chris Gore will be here to show you how to customize your rock band setup with that Neil Peart flair. And Bob and Steve are back and more bumbling than ever. But first, let's take a look at today's leaderboard for Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
do you guys think about Epic looking for input on the fans for a sequel with Gears?
Welcome back to X-Play, and thanks for your question, Colt.
Well, you know, it's not really a bad idea, primarily if it's for the multiplayer.
Right, and having people sort of experience and talk about some of the problems they've had in the past, and maybe they can address some of them.
Right, because there were a few issues with the original multiplayer that came out in Gears of War, and they did some advice, helped upgrade that, so it was good for Gears of War 2. As far as the single player, I don't know if I would listen to that many people out there.
Well, people are going to have good ideas, but, you know, it's always good to listen to the professionals.
Yeah.
He's going to have 17 chainsaws, and his head is a chainsaw. It's going to be awesome.
And I want a dragon. They always want a dragon. Anyway, okay. For sending that question in, Colt will receive a copy of Obscure: The Aftermath for the Wii. The survival horror game hits stores tomorrow, March 25th.
If you find Rock Band lacking in the realism department, maybe you should start an actual band, or at least let Chris Gore help you get halfway there with today's pro tip.
Man, I love playing Rock Band. But sometimes I need a little tambourine. Hey, Chris Gore here. I'm going to show you how to mod your Xbox 360 controller so that you can make a tambourine and a cowbell. The first step is to drill a hole through your battery backing case. Right here, there's actually a place that is perfect. It's setting right between the two batteries. Now, before you drill, you absolutely have to put on safety glasses. Mine are sexy. The next step is actually to take apart the Half Moon tambourine. Now, you see, we have the handle. We have to drill a hole here so we can attach the battery backing. Now I'm going to use the battery backing itself to mark off the hole. Here we go. Marked it. Now it's time to drill it. There we go. Now that the surface is clean, I'm going to attach the hook and loop tape. You'll need a patch about this big. It's cool. The size of a soul patch. The hook and loop tape is attached. Now it's time to bolt them together. I'm totally the Martha Stewart of nerds. Now that the battery pack is attached to the tambourine, just throw in some batteries, attach your controller, and you're ready to rock.
All right, Chris, thanks so much for coming by. So we saw how you make it, but now how do you play with it? How does that work?
Well, what a lot of people don't know in Rock Band is you can actually use the A button to, play cowbell or tambourine, which is a lot more fun because tapping on the microphone or blowing into it seems so weird.
It's a little weird. A little dorky.
Yeah.
I guess so is the rest of Rock Band, but that's okay. We love it.
Well, I like to consider myself a dork star.
Guys, as you are, look at those pants. Look at you, look at you. All right, well, let's see this in action with Blink-182.
Here we go.
Now, of course, you can take the controller off of the tambourine and then play it like normal.
Yes, actually, yeah. I use those battery packs that everybody throws away.
Right, because everybody gets the rechargeable ones. Everyone throws away the original battery pack that comes with it.
Right, but these are great, for mods, just to, make stuff like this.
So don't throw them away, is what you're saying.
Right.
I think it's also worth noting that you play the tambourine about as cool on Rock Band as you would in real life if you were doing Peter, Paul, and Mary and stuff like that.
True.
So just lesson be learned to you.
Cool.
Now, there's also a cowbell version, which is awesome. How'd you make that one?
The same way. You just drill a hole here and you put some Velcro or hook and loop tape, whatever, and then you can play Blue Oyster Cult.
All right,
I think you're about to do. Let's do this. Now that I can do. The shaking things. That's pretty much the extent of my physical, audacity.
Give it a shot.
All right. As long as I don't have to sing, I'm good.
No, is that an actual cowbell?
It's an actual cowbell. I mean, I just got it from an online auction site.
Very small cow.
And just made a cheap mod. I mean,
do you know of any stores that kind of specialize in cowbells, be it for music or bovines?
You can go to, you can get them at any music shop. I mean,
All right, well, then, with that, okay, I'm going to do that one, definitely. Now, using the instruments, easier or harder? What do you think?
It's a lot more fun. It makes the game fun. I'm just almost finished with Expert Tour Solo with my character Gorsey, so it's just so much more fun to sit there and rock out with a tambourine, especially when you got your friends over.
All right, thank you so much for coming by. Remember, you should wear safety goggles whenever you use drills and stuff. No one wants to lose an eye.
And this just in. Harmonix and MTV have announced that Rock Band will be coming to the Wii on June 22nd. The full set will retail for $170 and include 68 songs, 5 of which are bonus tracks for this version. We have to take a quick break, but first, let's take a look at today's trivia question and no looking at your neighbor's answer.
What is widely considered to be the first music rhythm game? Is it A, Parappa the Rapper, B, Frequency, or C, Dance Dance Revolution? We'll have the answer for you right after the break. Keep it here.
From the
Is to get your degree, and DeVry's got a great program.
Before the break, we asked you what is widely considered to be the first music rhythm game. The answer is A, Parappa the Rapper. The game was released in Japan in 1996 and was brought to you by the letter P.
Welcome back to X-Play. Being a spy requires cunning, intellect, and courage. So, how did Bob and Steve make it?
Previously on Bob and Steve.
She claims that our missions are important. Well, I made a second copy of the data we took off that computer tonight. And tonight we're going to find out just how important we are.
Bob, this is your website.
When America needs a hero, when freedom stands alone, America's top agents will defend our liberty from those who wish us harm. Let us join Special Agent Bob and Secret Agent Steve, two of the finest official unofficial splinter cells.
Bob, I think we got the wrong file.
What do you mean?
This is a list of people that got their parking validated at the last NSA Christmas party.
Hey, there's my name.
You're on here twice.
I let these guys borrow my ID.
You let a stranger borrow your ID to enter a federal building.
It was Christmas.
No, I mean, I can't believe that they had us risk our lives for this information. This has to be a mistake. This is incredible. All these missions, they don't mean anything. It's all been a big lie.
What can you do? Hey, Grabnar's starting.
Grabnar the Wanderer.
Bob, don't you see? Don't you care? Everyone's been lying to us.
Look, I care that I'm missing Grabnar. I care that I was calling the wrong name when I off. Other than that, what difference does it make? We get to run around, shoot people, break stuff.
Everything's going to be different now. We're going to execute every mission so perfectly that they'll have to notice. And then I'll finally get a decent mission, one that really means something.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Of course it is. It'll take months and maybe years, but eventually, that one mission will come.
Or we could just break into headquarters and steal a good one.
Steal a mission?
Yeah, it's like Glengarry Glen Ross.
You've never heard of Ordinary People, but you know Glengarry Glen Ross.
Hell yeah, that's a man's movie. I'm not going to watch Donald Sutherland cry for an hour and a half. Again.
When did you watch Donald Sutherland cry for an hour and a half before?
Have you ever seen Don't Look Now? He cries for the first 20 minutes in that movie. And then finally that stops, and he has the most awkward sex scene with Julie Christie that I've ever seen in my life. Donald Sutherland looks like a machine.
Join us next week when Steve and Bob disarm more terrorists with their amazing cunning and stealth.
If you call that a low-carb turkey wrap, I'd hate to see where you live.
Whoa! Tomorrow night at 8, we review the highly infectious Dark Sector, which I believe has destroyed Adam's faith in humanity.
And we got an expletive-filled sneak peek of the latest Zero Punctuation review. It has funny accents.
Plus the latest on GTA 4 and Street Fighter 4.
All right, see you tomorrow.